Hey everyone, this video showcases how the inventory system works in PS Maker. I'll go through a demo of that, and afterwards, I'll show you how the demo is actually implemented within PS Maker. I also have a link in the description if you want to try this demo out for yourself. Alright, so in terms of how it's implemented in the engine, so essentially here's the map, and everything is in event groups. So you can see this, the most key event is the add inventory item event. And to add inventory items, you have to first make them. And you can see that this is a list of inventory items, and we have the rock and the key inventory items. And then we put the inventory item into an event group. Then when we click on the inventory item event, you simply select the inventory item that you want to add to the player, and then it'll add it to the player's inventory. So within this event group, you can see that we added it to the map, which we set the trigger to be over there, and we essentially set an NPC to have this trigger on. And this NPC is just a rock, so instead of having like a game object, we just have an NPC so that you can add and remove them from the map. And we use the spawn NPC event to add it to that area right there, and that should actually be in the first slot. So you can see that we have all these add interact events going on. So those are actually how we add these event groups into the map. And by clicking into one of these, you can see that we set the trigger to be an interact trigger, and we also attach it to an NPC. And then we just attach it to that rock NPC that we added earlier. And then we set the trigger size and also have it remove when it finishes. So yeah, you can see that we add that event group. And the next event group is when you interact on the crate. And this is what happens when you actually drop off the rock into the crate. And we check if the rock is in the inventory first. If it's not in the inventory, then we make sure we say a piece of dialogue saying that you don't have the rock. And if you actually do have the rock, then it'll say that you put this rock into the crate. And then what happens is it removes the inventory item from your inventory, and then it also spawns the NPC again. So that's how you add in that rock into the map again, using NPCs. So we can see that a little bit in action here just by going over to the rock, and then you just interact with it. So interacting on the crate doesn't work since we don't have the rock, but once we pick up the rock, it removes the NPC and then puts it back in on top of the crate. So that's sort of how that flow works. These are just the two event groups for putting in the signs, you can see, and they just play a simple dialogue when you interact on them. Now for the other area where we have the outhouse and the key inventory item, so we have the same sort of setup with whether checking it's in the inventory or not. And with this last event group, we basically just put the key into the player's inventory when they interact on the rock. And that's sort of the same as the other one where you pick up the rock, picking up the smaller rock. But instead, this one is finding the key. But yeah, this event group trigger works the same way as the other ones. We just set an interact trigger and then make the bit trigger size a little bit bigger. But that about covers everything for this inventory demo. Thank you for watching.